Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes to see if anybody can join me live. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try and pull this up on my phone as well so that I can have a little look at the comments and so on. Okie dokie. I'm not sure if anybody's live with me just yet, but I am going to go ahead and yay! Hi, Becky. I'm gonna go ahead and just get started. I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm AnnaBelle. I am the social media PR and influencer marketing specialist here at Sensi for Region 2. So Becky, the wonderful Becky, sort of approached me and said, "Hi, AnnaBelle, would you mind coming on and sharing a few tips this month on social media?" So I thought, why not? I'll come and have a little chit chat with you guys and see how it goes. I'm going to talk a little bit about social media. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jackie. Thank you. Thank you. Triona, am I saying that right? I'm excited to be here. So, hopefully, what I tell you today is just a little bit more information than maybe you already know. I'm sure a lot of it you already do know, but this is just a bit of reiteration and hopefully some interesting and important tips that you can maybe implement in your own Scentsy businesses and your own social media strategy. Perfect. Yay. I like it when I get to pronounce people's names right because sometimes I just miss the mark completely. um, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you do have any questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll try my best to keep an eye on them and yeah, just answer them as I go along. Um, and I think one of the things that I have noticed more recently, I think maybe let's say since September last year, is that on my own personal social media, there's been significantly less, let's say, engagement. So on my own posts, I'm getting less likes, I'm getting less comments, and I think maybe some of you have noticed this as well. I'm not sure, um, but there's a few reasons for that. One of them is that Facebook, who owns Instagram as well, they have changed their algorithms as to how and what you see on social media. So in the past, it used to be a lot of whatever your friends post kind of pops up on your feed. And now it's more Facebook is trying to suggest to you content they think that you will be interested in, based on what you've liked previously or, the pages you like and so on. So there's a bit of a shift there. And then, secondly, there's also the shift in the sense that the way people are using social media has changed. Before, we used to scroll through social media like this and look at the entire feed. And now we're actually more looking at stories, videos, um, more than posts as photos and so on. So Facebook and Instagram, they've both shifted their sort of focus onto reels and video like content, and they're giving those sort of more priority over photo. And also, story content is obviously becoming a massive thing more recently. So, that's sort of a bit of background as to why maybe your feed posts might not be getting as much interaction and as much sort of reach as they were before. But just to put it into perspective, social media is still a massive tool for businesses. There are about 7.9 billion people in the world, and of those 7.9 billion people, we have 4.62 billion who actually are active users of social media, and that has doubled in the last 5 years. So that's double the amount of 5 years ago. And on top of that, if you think about it, like that's a trend that's just going to increase. So social media is definitely a great resource to be using in your business. And of those 4.62 billion people, you know, the average time that they spend on social media per day is 2 hours and 27 minutes, so roughly 2.5 hours. And in those 2.5 hours, you have the opportunity to build your brand awareness, to build customer relationships, and provide social and media customer service. And that's just to name a few. There's other things like potentially making sales, potentially recruiting new people into your team. And it's even a good way to sort of gain some customer feedback. So, 1 minute. I'm just reading a message from Jackie. Am I right in saying if we post more videos on profiles, it's likely to be seen too? Yes, that is true to a certain extent. So, the way Facebook is working at the moment is kind of the more consistently you post, the more you're kind of rewarded in a sense, because if they see that, you know, the algorithm works that the more that you post, the more your post is sort of put in front of other people. So video content in particular is at the moment quite a hot topic, and if you're posting a reel, it's more likely to go further and reach more people than it is if it's a photo, for example. It's just the way their algorithm is working at the moment. Their algorithm shifts every once in a while, so who knows what it will be in another 2 years. But at the moment, reels and stories are quite high up there. So I would definitely say try your best to incorporate those into your sort of social media strategy if you want. But yeah, one of the things I would say with social media though on that topic is there is a tendency for people to sort of use social media for their business in the same way that they would socially, and it doesn't quite work, because socially you might, you know, post very sporadically whenever you have something, you know, to say. So you go on holiday to Spain and you have a week full of lovely pictures, and so for 1 week your Instagram feed is beautiful, your Facebook, you know, profile is just wonderfully filled with loads of different content, and then the minute you come back from Spain you do nothing for 3 weeks and there's nothing on your profile. It doesn't work like that for social media. So for social media for your business, you need to be very consistent. And so in order to do that, one of the best things to do is to set goals for your social media profile. And I like to say SMART goals. It's an algorithm that we use. SMART, SMART. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A attainable, R relevant, and T time bound. So in doing so, the idea is that you become you create a routine for yourself and the way that you post. 1 minute, let me just quickly check. Would boomerangs be classified as a video? Do you mean boomerangs for your feed or boomerangs for your story? Because on your story, boomerangs, yeah, they count as a video. On your feed, they also count as a video if you're posting a boomerang, but the specific type of video content that's doing really well at the moment are reels. So reels in specifically short reels. At the moment, trending are 7-second reels, which are not convenient all the time. So you can do longer reels, of course. On Instagram, and I believe also on Facebook, you can do reels up to a minute. But you want to keep people's attention. So don't make the reel long for the sake of making it long. Try and just make it short, concise, and full, like impactful in that short period of time. Hope that answers your question. So going back to SMART goals, if I set a SMART goal, that it's trying to create a habit and a routine that you can implement realistically and consistently. So if I were to set a goal like I will use Instagram to increase customer engagement by posting interactive stories such as polls and quizzes about my products 4 times a week, and I will look at the responses to see what products customers are most excited about. That's very specific, you know, but you're also setting yourself a goal 4 times a week. You need to know, okay, I can do that 4 times a week. I have the capabilities to do that. So here it's about being realistic. If you know from the outset, okay, I can't do 4 times a week, then don't do 4 times a week, because when you take on too much, you're more likely to do nothing. So it's about doing as much as you can, but being consistent about it, and um, doing something like, stories 4 times a week with the intent of creating a poll or quiz is a great way to also engage your audience, because a poll or a quiz is something really easy. They just tap on it, click on it, and that's it really. They're interacting straight away, and it starts sort of that first step of starting that sort of conversation or interaction. um, Another, I would say, set yourself multiple goals. Another goal might be, for example, um, I will build relationships with my audience and potential customers by doing one Facebook Live a month to discuss new product launches and answer any questions my customers have live. So again, about being really, really attainable. Once a month, if that's all you can do, set yourself the goal once a month to take that time out and really go live with your customers. I mean, these are just example goals. You can set your goals however you want. Let me just check the chat. And when you set those realistic goals, you're more likely to do it. But a live is actually a really good type of content, because you're live in the moment with them. You can interact with them and answer their comments, which I'm trying to do right now, directly live in while chatting with them, and you show them your personality, you show them who you are, and you show them directly what your business is all about and what you're doing. But at the same time, you can repost that live video for people to watch back, and for people to really listen to and gain some deeper insights from, not just live but also post your live stream. So it's a really good type of content to use. But again, try and set yourself goals that are realistic for yourself and that you can do consistently. I think the key to social media is being consistent, rather than posting 15 times in one week and then not for the rest of the month. Try and spread it out so that consistently there is content going out on your social media, and that you're sort of showing stuff to your audience on a regular and frequent basis. On the topic of social medias, there are of course loads of different platforms, and everybody has their preferences. I'm sure you guys all have that one platform that you kind of use mainly. But when it comes to social media, you might consider actually branching out and taking on a second social media. So for example, if you use Facebook a lot and you love Facebook, and you have a target audience of a certain typical type of person who's following you or likes your Facebook page, then you might say to yourself, actually I want to reach a different target audience. And that's the thing with the different pages, the different social media pages, they target different audiences. So if you take my household, I'm most active on Instagram. That's my go-to social media. My sister, she's 10 years younger than me. Her go-to social media is TikTok. She doesn't mean she doesn't have Facebook, because she does. Instagram. She does have Instagram, but she doesn't have Facebook. And she uses Instagram, but if you want to find her and you really want to connect to her, you're going to use TikTok to do that. For me, it's Instagram, and my mum, you can't get her started on anything but Facebook. She's all about Facebook. So, yes, it's a generational thing, and there's an overlap because I also use Facebook. But the way you're going to reach your customers the most is when you're talking to them on the platform that they use most frequently. So, if like, for example, my main customers are ladies between the ages of 30 and 40, and I'm finding them on Facebook at the moment. Most of them have a family life, they have kids, and they're busy 9-to-5 job and busy family life, and that you can target products towards them on there. So maybe laundry, home fragrance bars, kids products. But then you say to yourself, actually I want to reach a different target audience. Maybe now you want to reach a slightly younger audience between the ages of 25 and 30, and these people are maybe more into socializing with friends, and maybe they're into holidays, traveling, exploring new things, expressing their personality, and having things that are unique to them. So then those kind of people you're going to find more on Instagram, typically speaking. And that just means being on that platform means that you can more easily access them or reach them. And that also means that you can just kind of connect to them on a platform that's more what that they identify with more. So on that page, if you're targeting that kind of audience, the products that you're going to promote on those pages might be slightly different. So instead of kids and laundry, maybe you're going more, these young people who love to travel. We're going to promote the Scentsy Go and our pods, and we're going to promote mini fan diffusers. And maybe if they're like into their appearance and they love to go to the hair salon and so on, maybe we're going to go body products and push body on those kind of channels instead. So just about kind of understanding what kind of audience you want to reach, what kind of audience you have now, what platform you can what platforms you can use to do that, and also what products will be most sort of relatable to them. I hope that makes sense. Let me just double check. Okay, so I'm getting a question. How do you get interest from people you don't know, ECT, interested? Do you just add them? Okay, so that's a good question. At the beginning, it's always really, really hard to sort of start any sort of social media page from scratch. It's always going to take a lot of work. So one of the things that you need to do is, and I get into that a little bit more as we go down, and actually I can maybe talk about it now. When we're talking about engagement and getting people to come to your page and interact with your page, we're talking a lot about consistency and the quality of your content. So those are two really key things that we're going to talk about, that we're going to have to consider. So you want to make sure that you are posting consistency and that the quality of the content that you're posting is what the people want to see. On Facebook, maybe it's a little bit more realistic. I want to see how these warmers look in a real home setting, right? But on Instagram, maybe it's more, it needs to be very visually appealing. I want it to be very, it needs to look beautiful. But then when you're creating that content and posting it, you want it to reach as wide an audience as possible. And of course you can pay for ads, that's always an option, or to promote your post. But what you want to do it organically, one of the best things you can do is use hashtags. So on Instagram you can use up to 30 hashtags on a post, and you can hashtag anything that is related to the post that you're creating. So say I am posting an image of the rock quarry warmer with I don't know, what do I have burning at the moment? I have pineapple mango burning at the moment. So you've posted an image of that, and you can use hashtags to get that image seen by people who don't follow you, right? Who are interested in that post. So if you hashtag the word candle, hashtag candle, people following the hashtag candle are interested in home fragrance. That's a thing. So when you hashtag candle, your post will appear in that hashtag page and it will appear to people who follow that hashtag. Now, what I say with hashtags is you want to really diversify the hashtags that you're using, because some hashtags have such a large following. It means that you're competing against a lot of different posts, and other hashtags have a really small following, which means that you're not competing with as many posts, but the audience that you're reaching is also smaller. So you want to make sure that you're using a variety of hashtags on Instagram. On Facebook, you want to be a lot more specific. It's not so common to use a lot of hashtags. It's more common to sort of be more specific with them. So you use only 1 or 2, maybe 3 hashtags that are very, very relevant to the post that you're creating, and it will appear on a page, on that hashtag page, and also appear in front of sort of audiences other than the people that are already liking, following, or friends with you, if that makes sense. Another thing that I would say is a good idea for reaching or for engaging your audience and creating interaction is dropping things like add a comment, you know, to the end of your caption. So for example, if I say, oh, I really love the ruby nectarine scent of the month, drop a comment below and let me know what your fruity fragrance preferences are. And so you can immediately engage your audience and by telling them to drop a comment, but also at the same time you're also doing a bit of consumer research, because you're starting to understand, oh, actually a lot of people love Hey Tiger Lily, or a lot of people like pineapple mango, whatever it might be. So you also know what kind of fragrances the people in on your page like. So that's definitely a good idea in terms of trying to engage your audience more. But in terms of growing your account, one of the big things that that even we as Scentsy do is giveaways. Everybody loves a giveaway, and this is easier if your entire audience is from the UK or from England than if you have audience all over the place. That's why we don't do it on Scentsy Europe just yet, because we have followers from all over the place, and it's just we're trying to figure out how to best go about it, because every country has different rules. But in England itself, it's quite easy to do a giveaway, and I would say the good thing with a giveaway is that you can create you can set parameters for entry. So for example, you can say tag 2 friends and make sure you're all following my account, and then drop a comment below and let me know what kind of fragrances you love. So this has like three advantages. So firstly, it's something fun, something to create excitement about your profile, about your page. Secondly, you're asking them to tag a friend and making sure that they all follow you. So that means that your followers should actually go up. And also when they see that there's a giveaway, they tag their friends might be like, oh, actually I'd quite like to, you know, be in a chance of winning. So they might then tag their friends as well, and it could be kind of like a domino effect. So that's what we see on Scentsy social pages. Whenever we do a giveaway on the Facebook pages, we see an increase in the number of followers that we have, and those kind of posts, giveaway posts, always have the largest amount of engagement, because everybody is trying to win the products, and everybody's excited about, you know, getting something for free. So it is another financial investment, of course, on your behalf, because you have to, you know, sort of provide the product. And I would definitely say giveaways are not something that you should be doing all the time. They are something that you do on a special occasion, or something that you do every once in a while to promote a specific product, or say you reach a certain amount of followers, or you reach a certain milestone in your Scentsy business and you want to celebrate that, then you can use a giveaway as a way to sort of boost awareness about your brand, but also to celebrate a certain occasion. And at the same time, in doing so, you're gonna usually you actually do gain followers in the process, because people love a good giveaway. So yeah, those are kind of like the main things that I would say for social media and increasing interaction. I'm just having a look at the chat to see if I've missed anything. Okay, in my group I have 1.5k members, but my last post only reached 200 people. Do you have any? Yeah, this is a big thing. One thing I would say in terms of reach, it has gone down. That's how it's gone. It's going down at the moment. But what I can say about there's always a sweet spot, a certain time of day where most of your followers are active, right? You want to try and find that sweet spot when your social media users are active, so that you're posting as they are active. So one of the common mistakes is just to post completely randomly and not really understand when your users are active. So it's a bit of a playing game, and it's not necessarily the same every single day either. We as Scentsy, we use a posting platform, and it kind of is able to tell us when people are, or it's able to predict when people are most likely to be active. to be honest with you, it doesn't always get it right. And sometimes we'll see that one post will just reach so many more people than another post. Um, and it has just got to do with when you're posting. It also has to do with the content that you're posting. Is it something that people are interested in seeing? Usually, if it's something more interactive, people are like more excited about it. If it's something more informative, then people are less excited about it. That's how generally it tends to go for our brand pages anyway. Um, but I would just say, add your hashtags, add your try and diversify your content type. We always find that when we post a reel, it has a way larger reach than when we post a photo. So if we post a photo, we might reach like 2,000 people. But if we post a reel, which is a short video, we will reach probably around 4 to 5, maybe sometimes even 6,000 people. And not all of them are even they're not all our followers on Instagram, for example. They're not. So a lot of the time it will be people who have just sort of found our reel because Instagram is either pushing reels or Facebook is pushing reels, or it'll be because we used a certain hashtag that people have followed, or it just is because people are more interested in stopping, looking at and reading or watching a video, than they are a photo. So there are a number of things that play on it. But one thing I would definitely say is try and figure out when your audience is live, and try and post around that time. Hope that helps a little. Are there any more questions in regards to that or anything else? I know I'm going over a little bit on time. In a closed group, no, well, in a closed group, your post will only be seen so the question is, in a closed group, would you still use hashtags? In a closed group, your post will only be seen by members in the closed group. So, thank you, Ali. What I would definitely say is, in a closed group, check how many active members you have, because sometimes you might have 1.2k members in your closed group, but you might over the months and over the years that you've been building your closed group, there might be people who have become inactive members. Okay, good. I'm so glad it's going to be useful. Just going back to inactive members. So yeah, as you've been growing your group, it's probably taken a while. I'm guessing it didn't happen overnight, probably a few months, years, I'm not sure. But over that time, there are obviously also going to be people who, joined the group really excited at the beginning, and then for one reason or another, either they decided that they weren't going to take their Scentsy business so seriously, or they've decided that, the posts in the group are not really what they need, or for one reason or another, you might have quite a few people who have become inactive members. And we do this in our consultant groups every once in a while, and actually our consultant support team is in the process of doing this right now. Every once in a while we review who have been inactive for a really long period of time, and we remove them from the group so that we have a better overview of who are actually active members in the group, interacting and interested in the content that we're posting. So we're not going to just remove everyone. It's just people who haven't commented probably in 6 months, or haven't liked a post, commented, even logged in 6 months. And we go back and we say, okay, are they realistically is this the right group for them to be in? And then when you do that, you can actually see, okay, actually there is a lot of people who were in this group who aren't active members. So maybe that's with a large group. 1.2k is a massive group of people, so maybe that's one of the things that you could potentially do to see. But again, I think even with a group, it's about I think one of the things that you can definitely do is just check or keep an eye on when was the last time you posted and got a lot of likes or comments or whatever it was, what was the content type that that got that many likes and contents, and what time did you post, what day of the week and what time. And so maybe you can adjust your posting schedule as well, to sort of recreate that. Obviously you can't always create exactly the same content, you know, you need to diversify and so on, but there are certain things that certain demographics prefer over other stuff, so that might be an idea. Okay, I don't know if you guys have more questions, I'm more than happy to stay on for a little and answer them. I also don't know if you guys, I know originally said influencer marketing, and I have a few points that I can share on that. But I don't know if you guys would think that's helpful. Just drop a comment if you think it is, and I can just say a few words on that. Um, or should I just go ahead and say a few words on that? Yeah? Okay, I'm seeing loads of hearts. Okay. So just quickly before I finish, um, let's talk about influencer marketing. Um, I don't know if many of you know this, but Sensi Europe, as in R2, um, we've actually been doing an influencer campaign since December. So the influencer campaign started or the talks about the influencer campaign started just before I joined. I joined in November. Time flies, wow. But we started an influencer campaign in December, and it's been a test campaign. It's the first time in R2 we've ever done an influencer campaign, and it's been a learning curve for Sensi. So I have done influencer campaigns prior to joining Sensi, but there are a lot of other considerations when it comes to direct sales, because our focus always wants to be on how can we use influencers to push for you guys, the consultants, and help your businesses as well. So we've done a small test influencer campaign where we've used a variety of different influencers, with different focuses on their pages. And what I can definitely say from this experience is there are a few things you need to do. We've done this through an agency, which is one option, and the other option is to find your influencers yourself. I personally prefer finding influencers myself because you can build the relationship and you have that direct contact to them. You have that direct ability to sort of speak to them and build a rapport, you know, and build that connection. Going through an agency, you rely a lot on the agency to sort of communicate things in an accurate way, and find people who align with your brand. So in your cases, if you were to go down the influencer route, I would definitely say understand what the goal of your campaign is. So for us, the goal of the campaign was just to see how does it work for us. We wanted to get new eyes on Sensi as a brand. So for you, that might be you want the influencers to raise awareness about your social pages, right? You want them to sort of refer their followers to your pages, and you need to just kind of be very aware that there are different levels of influencers. So some people think influencers are only those people with like 10 million followers, but you actually have nano influencers who have maybe 3,000 or 4,000 followers. And if you, as a Sensi consultant, and your page, whatever it may be called, have 300 followers, exposure to those other 3,000 followers might actually be a big step for your business, you know. It's a vast amount of people for you to be exposed to. So when you think influencers, don't only think really big names and really big followings. You know, influencer campaigns are basically a way to increase exposure about your profiles, your brand, your business, what you're doing on other people's platforms. And what is really as important is that the influencers that you select align with your values and what you do as a business. So for us, we tested two particular types of people. We tested family orientated, I'm not even sure what the word is, mummy baby sort of influencers, really focused on family. And then this latter part of the campaign, we've been testing more interior design, DIY, interior sort of focused profiles. And it's interesting because we do have engagement on both, of course, but for what we're finding is people with a more interior focus are getting a better reaction from their following. Not that the others are getting a negative reaction, but the engagement is higher on those profiles of the people who are interior focused rather than mummy baby focused, right? So understanding what you want to get out of it, what your business is all about. I guess you guys already know that, but like what kind of influencers will align with how you see your business and how you run your business, and also the kind of character of your business, you know. We've tried influencers that are a little bit more fun and quirky, and some that are a little bit more reserved, and the ones that work well are the ones that sort of align with our brand. Because at the end of the day, when somebody clicks on the link to your profile, they're gonna see a complete juxtaposition if the influencer is like super serious, and then they come on Scentsy and we're like all bright, colorful, and really, really fun. So you're trying to find somebody that aligns with your brand. It's not necessarily always the same as your brand, but somebody that just, you know, can expose your brand to more people in a way that's true to what you do. And then you just want to, as I said, build that connection, build that relationship, and just really do your best to sort of take it past that campaign or those posts that they do for you, and just have them in your corner so that you can then maybe do some free gifting. Because their influencers are not always, you don't always have to pay them. Sometimes they will do a post for you if you gift them free product, right? We are doing paid influencer campaigns at the moment, but in the future going forward, who knows, maybe we'll do free gifting, because it's a way to get your product into the hands of people who are interested in it and have a large following, right? And then they can do, you know, in return for that product, they can do a post about it, and just tell people how amazing it is. Because who doesn't love a bit of Scentsy? But yeah, so that's kind of a little bit on influencer marketing, and I know I'm taking all your time now, so I'll just hang on a couple of minutes to see if you guys have any more questions, and if not, then I will just I wish you guys a wonderful Easter, you know. If there are any questions, I'm now in this group, so I can always answer them at a later point as well, if you don't have them right now and you want to ask questions later. Oh, you're welcome, Ali. You're welcome, Becky. No, thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me, for hosting me, and for allowing me to just jump on here and chat a bit, ramble a bit about things that I love. So it's so much fun to just, you know, it's a bit different to the everyday work, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of your time with me, and I wish you all a wonderful Easter. Fun fact, I'm actually traveling to Boise to the home office on Monday, so I'm excited about that. And before that, I'm just looking forward to spending a few days with my family and just chilling. And I hope you guys have some really, really relaxing plans for Easter. I am definitely going to do an Easter egg hunt. I know I'm too old for it, but I don't care. So yeah, guys, do something fun. Enjoy your time with your family, and thank you again for having me. Have an amazing day. Bye.